This is the Brandon D. Campbell podcast, where business and mindfulness meet to build a better leader in you. Here's your host, entrepreneur, mentor, and author, Brandon D. Campbell.
No, usually I don't speak on celebrity drama or issues or anything like that. But I came across something in the news that it stopped me in my tracks from reading it. And it was TV personality Jeannie Mai, who is the ex-wife of rap superstar Young Jeezy. They had a short-lived marriage that produced a child, a daughter named Monaco. And so in this interview, she talked about the trauma, the tumultuous divorce that she had with Jeezy. And there was a quote that was said, and I wanted to read it to you. And it reads, "I am so lucky that Monaco was only one when this happened." May explained, "She's not going to remember what that turmoil is like. That's not something I want her to ever have to think about. My job is to define peace for her." And immediately I thought about childhood trauma, and that is the mistake. What she said, that is the mistake that I believe we make as parents often. Believing that our kids, because of their age, they're not going to remember trauma or tumultuous situations or abuse or neglect or any childhood trauma. And so what she said there made me think about really why I am writing books, why I released Oh Brother, My Brother in the first place. It's to really shine light on childhood trauma and also to provide a tool to help heal kids from that trauma as kids versus waiting till they get older. Childhood trauma, according to data and studies and research, childhood trauma typically happens between the ages of 0 and 3. 0 and 3, from the time they were born up to 3 years old. That has a great deal of impact. And let me preface it. During that time period, 0 to 3, psychologists say that your frontal lobe, your limbic system, is being developed as a person. And so at this time, this is when a child is developing emotional regulation, understanding behavior patterns, also trying to identify defense mechanisms for their own survival. And so at this time period, when a child goes through trauma, it impacts that. It impacts their development. Studies also have said that their frontal lobe develops slowly after experiencing, or more likely to develop slowly after experiencing trauma. And so what she said here is basically, my child was 1 year old, and we got a divorce. Woo, thank God. That means that my child is going to be better off than most kids and most adults who have experienced the same things as kids. That's not accurate. And so her child being 1 does not signify to her that her child is going to be all right. That she does not have to, it's not going to need to do any parenting in the areas of trauma or psychological development or therapy or anything like that. In fact, I believe that she should be now preparing a safe haven and developing ways to be sure that her relationship with her daughter is so much intact. Because at the end of the day, she's the caregiver, spending and loving as much as possible on that little girl in those early years. It's going to be very important, but especially between the ages of 0 and 3. But now also finding ways to communicate in a healthy way to her daughter about her daughter's father, her ex-husband Jeezy, but in also ensuring that there's space of where there's communication and connection between her and her father. Because at the end of the day, this child needs not to feel an emotional neglect at such an early age, which then leads to, fear of abandonment and neglect issues, which then are more likely to create some of the maladaptive behaviors, anxiety, depression, personality disorders, also substance abuse issues that may occur later on. This now is a perfect time for Jeannie Mae and Jeezy to really pour into their daughter and be as connected with them now at this early stage in her life versus trying to do it in her teen years or when they become an adult. To ensure emotionally and psychologically secure grown-ups, we have to start with the development early in their lives. And so that's my 2 cents. I don't like to really talk about celebrity drama or issues, but I felt like this was an opportunity to educate, but also voice my opinion in hopes that it can help be a guiding light for someone else out there who may be experiencing divorce or breakup in their marriage or their relationship, or have a single, have a child from a single occurrence, or they're single parents, or they are no longer with the child's father or mother. So thank you.